Hi, welcome to a podcast on GCC Online Retail. My name is Patabi Ram. I have with me Marmos research analyst Nivas. Nivas, I have a few questions to ask of you in the context of your online retail research report. First thing that struck me as I read through your report is that online retail has not picked up in a big way, whereas the rest of the world, online retail has really grown by leaps and bounds. What is the reason why this has not happened in the GCC region?
Well, there are many reasons for it. The first being that e-commerce laws and regulations have not been properly formulated as such. It is a very nascent industry in the region, but it is growing on a rapid pace because of improving ICT infrastructure and increasing number of internet users, high penetration of internet and mobile phones. And it is forecasted to grow at a CAGR of 18% till the end of next year to reach a value of around $15 billion. But yes, you're right. Currently, over 90% of e-commerce sales is concentrated in Asia Pacific and Western Europe and North American regions. GCC still has to catch up a lot.
Now, nevertheless, in another part of your report, you seem to suggest that the retail sector can no longer be sustained only by bricks and mortar model. Don't you think that runs contradictory to what is currently happening in the Middle East?
Well, over the long term, online shopping sales is forecasted to surpass conventional retail sales.
That is in the Middle East or in the rest of the world?
This would be the norm everywhere because online shopping can be done 24/7 compared to, say, conventional shopping, which have set opening and closing hours. It avoids the necessity to travel to different stores. It provides a convenience in that sense. And you also have the option to compare various products in a single window rather than visiting different stores and looking at different products. They also provide free shipping these days, and all the aggregate demand is concentrated in one location, which caters to a larger geography than a single physical store. So even for retailers, this is more advantageous. I would definitely believe that as time goes by, brick and mortar stores, they would have to think of innovative ways to compete with online retailers because there would be a lot of cost advantage and price advantage that the latter would enjoy that the former wouldn't.
The developing nations are obviously picking up online retail many years after the developed nations have done. Do you therefore think that there is any advantage for developing nations because they would obviously miss out on the so-called first mover advantage?
No, they would miss out on the so-called first mover advantage, but they would also try and learn from the mistakes of the developed nations, and they are fastly adopting online retail in a very big way. These days, they are less worried about multi-channel integration, which is what the developed nations are worried about.
What would multi-channel integration mean?
Multi-channel integration is if a particular retailer has more than one channel of sales. I mean, it can be catalog, it can be a physical store, and it can be an online. And when they try and integrate all the sales to work seamlessly for them, that's what most of the developed nation retailers they are worried about. Whereas developing nations, they are going directly for a pure online channel of retailing.
I saw a very interesting observation in your report. There you talk about the fact that online retail in the GCC is most popular among women and among people who are single. Mm-hmm. Now, what is the reason for that?
The number one reason is the cultural norm in the region, where women prefer to shop online rather than go to a physical store. Women in public space is very few.
It's nothing to do with they being more tech savvy or something that way.
No. It's not to do with the tech savviness, but it's to do with adjusting to whatever their environment is. So women in public space is not encouraged in that region. So they prefer to actually go and shop online rather than visit a physical store on their own. As far as single men are concerned, malls and hypermarkets and all these places are built to cater to families rather than bachelors. Okay. And online shopping is definitely a lot less time consuming than going to a store and shopping. So single men do prefer online shopping to conventional shopping.
I'm sure there must be some products which are not very popular to shop online. Maybe products that require touch and feel, for instance. Which are the products which are most popular today? And do you think that any of the products that are today not the rage for online retail, over a period of time, they will also come under online sale?
You're right. I mean, there are certain products that require the touch and feel, and those products still, people do prefer to go to stores and buy them. But the products that are popular in online retail would be the electronic items, cameras, mobile phones, tablets, and computers. Air tickets are definitely one of
Correct.
those things that are definitely bought online these days. Entertainment is another thing. Hotel reservations, clothes, which surprisingly do require the touch and feel aspect, but a lot of clothes are being bought online these days. Books and music are other items that can be purchased online without much of a worry. These are some of the items that are regularly bought online. As to whether whether this range of products is going to increase, yes, I would think it would, yes.
What could propel online retail to grow and grow significantly in the years ahead?
In the GCC region, the strong economic growth that the region has been witnessing for the past decade now, people have high consumption power, large disposable incomes, and higher per capita income. They also have favorable demographics. I mean, when you have nearly two-thirds of the population at less than 30 years of age, you're talking about long-term customer to brand connectivity. So that's just going to improve, and there is increasing internet and mobile penetration. That GCC region is investing a lot on infrastructure, the ICT infrastructure, and they want to increase the bandwidth provided. And all these small factors do help in the development of online retail.
I have one last question. You have done the research report on online retail. You have also done the research report on what I might loosely call offline retail. Do you think that at any point in time, at some point in time, online retail will begin to have more takers than regular retail?
I think both would survive together for the time to come. Whether one would totally take over the other, I'm not entirely sure. But online retail will definitely keep growing in the time to come. Well, that doesn't entirely mean that regular retail stores are going to shut shop and go out of business. I'm just assuming, like, even big retailers like Carrefour, they are traditionally brick and mortar stores, and they are having their own online presence these days. Either somehow they will both converge at one point, or they will just survive in whichever way possible.
Thank you very much, Nivas.
Thank you.